Honorable Senators, you are being called this morning for the third time.
Counsel for the County Assembly. If I heard the counsel for the governor correctly, the letter indicating that you had intended to summon to call Linda Gaki Kiome and Mr. Jacob Kirari, that letter was not made available to the governor's team.
You know, if you may allow me to call counsel.
Available immediately. Let it be made available immediately.
We are most obliged.
You may proceed. And your time starts running from now.
Honorable members, you are being called for the third time to interrogate the character and the ability of Governor Kawira to govern the county of Meru, the county government of Meru. It's not usual that an individual can be called and be brought before this assembly without a reason. There is a fundamental reason that underlies her ability to govern. You're being called for the third time to interrogate the ability of Governor Kawira to manage the resources of the county of Meru. You're being called upon for the third time to interrogate the ability of Governor Kawira to ensure that there is effective service delivery of services to the people and the residents of Meru County. Accountability, honorable members, is a measure of leadership. Accountability is the ability of an individual to be held to account for our actions. It's not a call for interrogating the weakness of an individual, but the ability of that individual to execute her constitutional mandates. For the third time, there cannot be malice. This cannot be personal vendetta. There is no relationship that is unconstitutional between the governor and the county assembly that can make the county assembly to be aggrieved on behalf of the people of Meru County for the third time. Accountability is a gateway to earning trust. We are here because there is serious trust deficit with the ability of Governor Kawira to govern the county of Meru. We shall bring evidence before you, honorable senators, how reckless statements that flies over the face of chapter 6 of the Constitution in respect of the ability of an elected leader at the status of a governor to be able to earn confidence in the office that she holds. We'll show you how families are broken down courtesy of reckless statements that are not accountable, made and attributed to the governor. Honorable senators, we shall bring before you evidence how money and resources that Kenyans are on day-to-day basis working hard to generate are being misused at the heart and the behest of the governor, at the quest or behest of her inability to govern the resources, her inability to manage the county government of Meru, her inability to be in charge of the county. That is the case that we have before you. And when she is called to answer to the same, she has always an escape route. She has manufactured a serious safety valve that makes sure that she is never held to account of her actions. She blames others. She keeps on saying, it wasn't me. She is in charge of the county that, as we speak, has embezzled, courtesy of maintaining a manual payroll, Kenya shillings 212 million, hard-earned money, due to the inability to manage the county. We have a governor who is serving in the county government of Meru and who is not able to manage her human resource. When proper procedures are taken, when proper procedures are called out by the employees, they are victimized. They are victimized because she wants to maintain a system that is not accountable. This house has risen to the occasions, and whenever I appear before this house, I live with the confidence, whether we win the case or we lose the case, that this house has done its work. This is the house that will go to the history of this republic, that it has been out to hold individuals accountable, irrespective of your gender, irrespective of your association, irrespective of your political association. This house has remained true to its calling. This house has remained very impartial to the processes. And that is why for the third time we are bringing a case against Governor Kawira, because we have confidence with this house that it will look to the facts of the case and dispense with substantive justice. The first step towards success is taking responsibility of your actions. The first measure, the measures of one's personal character is attributed to the ability to manage the responsibilities that has been bestowed and granted unto you. And if you cannot then be held accountable, if you will always be blaming others, then what is your role? When those others are making that mistake, when those others are embezzling the funds, where are you? What actions have you taken? We'll bring cases where the county assembly has attempted to hold accountable the governor, reports made before the county assembly, summons issued, recommendation made, and the governor declines with contempt, ridicule, and spite on the part of the county assembly. That is the case that we have. Honorable senators, holding people accountable is a show of love. When you hold somebody accountable, you are simply saying, honorable senators, that you are capable of a bigger or to do bigger things. This is not out of malice. It's not out of any personal vendetta. It's to show the love that the county assembly has for the people of Meru. We'll present before you evidence that public participation was effectively carried out. 85% of the participants giving a verdict that supports the county assembly's case. We'll give you evidence that 49 county assembly members voted in support of the motion. These are not relatives to the governor. They have no any fraternal association with the governor. They are people who are simply executing their mandate as bestowed by the Constitution. That is the simplicity of the case that we have. We'll bring you evidence of a witness who is currently displaced from her matrimonial home, courtesy of the responsibility of the governor, courtesy of the governor inability to manage how she relates to the members of the public. We'll bring you the sniper's wife. The sniper's wife is a case before this assembly, not to prosecute the murder case, but to prosecute chapter 6 of the Constitution in respect to the governor ability to manage the county. As I pen off and invite my learned friend, honorable senators, we invite objectivity in the case. You'll be brought evidence by Governor Kawira. Former individuals who moved this motions before you for her impeachment have now been staged as a witness. You realize what happened. What dawned occurred to this county member of assembly who just the other day, a few months ago, was moving the impeachment for the governor, and now they have become a darling of the governor. Is that really a conduct that is consistent with innocence, that is consistent with integrity and accountability and transparency? We'll bring you that evidence. We'll show you why this a serious turn of events. Honorable senators, kindly allow me to invite Mr. Mawira for further submissions. I am most humbled.
Honorable Speaker, my name is Morero Boniface Mawira, and I'll proceed from where my learned senior, Mr. Ndegwa, was left. Honorable Speaker, as I was preparing to make this statement, I found myself pondering about this third impeachment process that is before you. And the question that came to my mind is it merely for the joy of doing it? Is it merely for the joy of it that the County Assembly of Meru is before you for the third time? Is it merely for the joy of it? Honorable Senators, clearly and logically, there is a problem. And the County Assembly of Meru has diagnosed that problem. The County Assembly of Meru is beseeching you to find a remedy, to find a cure to this problem. Meru is ailing, and this house has the proper medication to this problem. We are going to demonstrate, Honorable Speaker, through various testimonies and exhibits that we have already filed, that there is a serious breakdown of governance in Meru. How is the Meru County Assembly expected to function if its oversight function has been crippled by the executive? How is the Meru County Assembly expected to exercise its oversight role if summons, statements, and resolutions of the County Assembly, even recommendations, are ignored and disregarded by the County Executive under the watchful eye, cover, and protection of the Governor? The County Assembly summons witnesses to appear before it, or members of the Executive. They do not heed such summons. What redress is the County Assembly left with, other than coming before you? This House is a protector of devolution, and we beseech you to protect devolution that is on its deathbed in Meru. We will demonstrate, Honorable Senators, countless discreditable acts, all of which amount to gross violation of the Constitution and other laws, abuse of office, and gross misconduct. Of course, there is, and I'm not belittling what my learned senior said, that money has been lost, but there's a lot of misinformation out there that for you to prove or to succeed in an impeachment process or for an impeachment charge to be upheld, you need to show that money has been lost or there is misappropriation. And I'll refer you to Article 181 of the Constitution and its replica in Section 33 of the County Governments Act. The Constitution talks about gross violation of the Constitution, gross misconduct, or abuse of office. That provision, Honorable Speaker, is to be read holistically, is to be read together with Article 75 of the Constitution, which talks about conduct of state officers. And I'll read that provision, Honorable Speaker, that a state officer shall behave whether in public official life or in private life in a manner that does not demean the office that state officer holds. That is the provision. So it is not just a matter of misappropriation or loss of money. Your conduct as a state officer, whether in public, official life, or private life, would equally meet the threshold for impeachment. And I will not state names, but we have seen in this very republic gross misconduct by state officers elsewhere. And they have been held to account, notwithstanding that there was no loss of money. Honorable Speaker, we will show you specific acts by the Governor in our own name. And therefore the defense of "it wasn't me" does not avail itself. Of course, attempts have been made by the Governor to deflect these specific acts on our part, including through forgery of documents. And those documents have been filed, and they're before you, Honorable Senators. And those documents, which the County Assembly contends, are outright forgeries, are meant to doing this Honorable House and to deflect the attention of this House from the real issues. And the real issues, for example, that forgery relates to a specific act by the Governor in revoking the appointment of the CEO of the Meru County Public Service Board. But letters have been forged to cover up and to drink this Honorable House, to divert attention from that specific act in our own name, by our own signature, and under our own hand. We are going to demonstrate, Honorable Speaker, that the Governor has persisted in a path of impunity through the County Secretary and the Chief of Staff. And these has been raised in previous impeachment proceedings. The governor said it wasn't me. But luckily, Honorable Speaker, the law envisages such a situation as the one before you, where a state officer, a public officer, says, it wasn't me, it was so-and-so. Section 24 of the Public Officer Ethics Act and Section 35 of the Leadership and Integrity Act is about the conduct of a state officer acting through others. And those provisions are expressed that that public officer is still liable for the acts that are done through others. So, even if that act was done by someone else, the law envisages that acting through others is not a defense to certain acts by the state officer. What recourse, Honorable Speaker, does the County Assembly have if it made recommendations pursuant to previous impeachment proceedings that the governor take action against these specific officers? The governor disregarded those recommendations of the Assembly. The governor ignored those resolutions. So, should the County Assembly sit pretty as this cabal of officers continues to run Meru down, or to take Meru down the drain? These officers must be stopped in their tracks, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the events leading to this day, the fact that this motion is before you is what I would call an act of grace. It is by the grace of God Himself that the County Assembly has an opportunity to be heard before this House today. There have been many threats, intimidation, and attempted arson of the County Assembly on the eve of the debate of the impeachment motion. And this is the County Assembly that is expected to oversee the governor. Clearly, Honorable Speaker, all attempts have been made to hamstring the County Assembly in the exercise of its oversight mandate, and even to hamstring this House in the exercise of its oversight mandate. We were told at some point that the County Assembly and even this House do not have jurisdiction, and we should appear before Njiru for hearing of the charges. The governor, of course, will tell you, Honorable Speaker, that the County Assembly is abusing its oversight role, and that the County Assembly has been held captive by some external forces. But my question, Honorable Speaker, is how is that an answer to any of the charges? For instance, how is that an answer to the charge or the allegation that the governor illegally revoked the appointment of the CEO of the Meru County Public Service Board under our own hand and signature and name? How is this purported capture by external forces a response to these specific allegations against the governor? Many other attempts will be made, Honorable Speaker, to deflect or to divert attention from the real issues. Videos will be played by some common man or ordinary people in Meru, even abusing this Honorable House, abusing the Speaker, abusing the senators, saying that this is a house of greed and bribery. But how is that an answer to the specific charges? And all these videos are not by members of the County Assembly, they are not by elected leaders, they're just by wannabes, or whatever you may call them, probably even political activists. There is a real attempt to shift your attention from the issues that are in the motion, so that you consider other extraneous material that is not in any way associated with the County Assembly, and to pass a verdict. Of course, one that is not just to the County Assembly. Authority that is vested in a state officer Honorable Speaker, is a public trust. And pursuant to Article 73, it should be exercised in a manner that promotes confidence, public confidence, in the integrity of that office, and it should bring honor and dignity to that office. It should equally demonstrate respect for the people. We are going to play video evidence before you of some utterances by the governor that are not only insensitive, but they do not demonstrate, they actually fall short of the constitutional requirement that a governor in his or her conduct should demonstrate respect for the people. All these allegations, Honorable Speaker, fall within Chapter 6 of the Constitution, and specifically Article 75, which provides that any person who is involved in conduct that falls short of the constitutional requirements may be dismissed or otherwise removed from office. So this is not a novelty, or this is not an invention of the County Assembly. This is the Constitution. The Constitution says that such conduct is not only to be rebuked or to be condemned, but it is conduct that amounts to grounds for removal from office. Honorable Speaker, the governor will take, of course, the underlying tone of the governor's response, and that is the posture that she will take when she takes the stand, is that she is a victim of misogyny, a victim of male chauvinism, a victim of toxic masculinity, and all these other gender attacks against her. And even in her own even in her response, she says that she's a woman governor, and we appreciate that. It is the people of Meru who elected her, including the men in Meru County. Some of them are even here. Some others are members of the assembly. But is gender a shield? Should your gender be a cover that you cannot be held account because you're male or you're female? Is that it, Honorable Speaker? As a panel of Honorable Speaker, is the issue of the threshold for impeachment. And the Supreme Court has had occasion in the Sonko case to state with precision the threshold requirement for impeachment proceedings. And the Supreme Court has stated, Honorable Speaker, that the threshold is not the threshold required to prove criminal culpability in criminal cases. It is not the threshold of beyond reasonable doubt. It is the threshold of above a balance of probability, but below reasonable doubt. So therefore, that intermediate standard of proof, Honorable Speaker, through the various exhibits and testimonies that we are going to play before you and present before you, is a threshold that would not only be met, but the County Assembly will equally discharge the burden on its part in line with that interpretation by the Supreme Court. Another question, Honorable Speaker, is what amounts to grossness. The Constitution talks about gross violation of the Constitution and gross misconduct. And therefore, the Supreme Court, while quoting the decision in Martin Ndegwa from the Court of Appeal, clarified that one, the allegations must be serious, substantial, and weighty, and that there must be a nexus. Honorable Speaker, specific acts done by the governor, other acts done through officers who are working under her, and our watchful eye, cover and protection. All these are specific acts attributable to her. She's disregarded resolutions of the Assembly to take action against them, and therefore it must be that they were doing those illegal acts under instructions. Honorable Speaker, we are going to demonstrate through our various pieces of evidence that the County Assembly has no recourse but to turn to this house for redress and to redeem devolution that has clearly died in Meru. Because for how is a governor that is at war with doctors, that is at war with members of the assembly, that is at war with the church, that is at war with contractors, how is this governor? A governor that has even shifted contracts that are supposed to be done by the people of Meru or even other Kenyans to the national government, while devolution is about taking resources to the county. How is this governor supposed to deliver for the people of Meru? That is all, Honorable Speaker. Thank you for listening to me. My line is in, Mr. Ndegwa can take the remaining minutes.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. In summary, Your Honor, Mr. Speaker, sir, Honorable Senators, joining issues with the submissions made by my learned friend, and especially on the issue of the attempted arson, it is not a coincidence that attempts to burn down the County Assembly of Meru was done at night of the 8th of August, 2024, when this Senate was seized when the County Assembly was seized with the impeachment motion. It's not a coincidence that individuals have actually been charged before the court of law as a result of that attempt. Honorable Senators, the proposals being made out there, some of which are constitutional, including the dissolution of the county government of Meru, is not a solution to the problem that we have. Why? Because we have identified the problem. The problem is one individual, Governor Kawira. We have identified the problem is a problem of mismanagement. We have identified the problem is a problem of accountability. We have identified the problem. The problem rests with Governor Kawira. Service delivery has been compromised. We'll play to you videos of babies being born outside a health center, being born in a karai. At 11 o'clock in the morning, when you expect the facility to be fully functional, the facility is closed, no service is being delivered, expectant mother delivering inje outside. The people of Meru County expected that with the inception of devolution and with health sector being apportioned to the county government of Meru, that they will have proper stewardship, that they'll have proper managers, that they'll have people who care about the health status of the people of Meru County. As we speak, there is no explanation that has been ever given by the governor why expectant mother will have to deliver outside a facility, why a woman has to give birth in a karai ya maji. That is a pathetic situation in Meru County. No explanation has been given, no apology has ever been given by the governor, no actions has ever been taken to ensure that such action is not or does not occur. No disciplinary actions taken in respect to that particular facility. So that is the case for the County Assembly. We urge you, Honorable Senators, to listen to us, to give us time to substantiate the simple charges that we shall place before you, Honorable Senators. It's a case of mismanagement. It's a case of unaccountability. Is a case of bad governance, is a case of a governor gone rogue, is a case of victimization of the officers serving under the office of the governor or serving under the office of the governor. It's in a case of making sure that systems clogs to the benefit of few individuals. That is the simplicity of our case, Honorable Governors. We'll present you with evidence concrete evidence, honorable senators, to prove that simple case, the case that meets the threshold as enshrined under Article 181 and as read together with Section 33 of the County Government Act, is a case about the status of the governor of the Meru County government. As I pen off, honorable speakers, some of the proposals being made can be resolved with actions being taken before this Senate. Most obliged.
We now invite the counsel for the government.